Oh, fuck.
We're live. Yo, that was that 3, 2, 1 countdown.
Did it work on... Was it linked up with that, too?
Yeah, I can cut it out, though. Because we
Okay.
weren't talking, so it'll still line up with the
Alright.
thing. But
We're back.
we're back. It's been a year and a half since the last one. Just about, I think. Actually, it might be 2 years. I think it was September we did it. Obviously, a lot's happened since then. So, it should be interesting. A lot of shit to talk about.
Donnie T back in office.
Donnie
6
T
months.
back in office. Last episode, we were counting on him winning.
Yeah.
And we were talking about how crazy it would be if he ended up in prison and stuff. And that brings me to, like, I was thinking about, too, like, the MAGA betrayal to an extent because of his loyalty to,
Israel.
the forbidden thing that you can't talk about, Palantir. So it just makes me wonder, like, is there, sometimes I think, like, devil's advocate, right? Because I support him as a person, obviously. Like, he's cool. He's, like, a untraditional president, which I like, and we need that. But, like, what deal did he cut to get into office, to stay out of prison?
I think it may just be as simple as he was bankrupt after that first presidency.
Yeah.
And he needed the funding. And so the Israel lobby was able to
Infiltrate
give
that way.
him money. And with that comes they're going to get what they want once he got into office. So
I think they were banking on us supporting them in a war with Iran. And obviously, the name of this episode is going to be perfect timing because Israel, like a day before we set this up, the next day, Israel attacked the Iranian nuclear facilities, which obviously that could easily lead to World War III. That could easily be the catalyst. And, I don't think Trump will allow us to get into a war with Iran. I think something like, I'm praying, but like obviously if he did these backdoor deals, right? Let's say with like Palantir or the military industrial complex and the Israel lobby, banking on that war, and then if he, he doesn't betray the people that voted for him and he stays out of that war, do they all turn on him and we end up with like the Trump first term presidency where like he's impeached twice, maybe they actually get
rid of him,
rid of him this time,
and they want Vance as their guy because Vance has the ties to Palantir
and Vance
Israel.
isn't even his last name.
No, it's
like, it's crazy. Hold up, let me look up what is JD Vance's real name.
We changed it like 3 times.
What is JD Vance's real name? And obviously he's successful because of he's so young, but he's been propped up. Yeah, is what you're saying. See, and like you look up, and this is so like it has so apparently his real name is James David Vance, but that's not true.
No,
what was he born as?
Yeah.
What was JD Vance's name? See, stuff like this is why I wish we had it, Jamie. Be like, right, Jamie, can you find that real quick? All right, James Donald Bowman. See, like, politics is so fake, dude.
They
like,
are, and we try to separate Trump from that, but at the end of the day, he's probably just as fake. Like,
yeah, at least he is who he says he is. But like, it's like everything's a stage in politics. He changed his name to Vance because it sounds better. Like, you have to have some type of to be in office that high, like
you gotta play a
vice
role.
president, Speaker of the House, those high-ranking positions in the public eye. You kind of have to fit the bill.
Yeah, right.
So it's really an act if you think about it. And
It is, yeah.
Roger Stone, you know Roger Stone, right? One of his famous quotes is he says, "Politics is just show business for ugly people." So people that wanted to be actors or people that wanted to be whatever in Hollywood just end up going into politics. And you see that a lot now, like people that failed at other things, like JD Vance, for example. He's obviously successful, but he's a Marine. He went to Yale, graduated law, but maybe that didn't necessarily pan out the way he thought, so change my name, let me switch to politics.
And he was mentored by Peter Thiel of Palantir. And have you seen, like, I saw on Twitter for Palantir,
surveillance.
Their whole thing is like, it's like dominance. And their logo is like the Eye of Sauron from Lord of the Rings. They're like, oh, we're not a data data collection agency. It's like
that might not be the primary thing they do, but it's part of. They have AI. They have like AI tools that they give to government. So I think one of their things is called Gotham, and I'm not sure what it does. You would have to ask someone more tech savvy than me. Like, we had a hard time getting this fucking podcast set up, but if they're really doing that database to have all the information on Americans, that's George Orwell, 1984 meets a Black Mirror episode.
Right.
Like, that is insane.
From what I
think about,
understand, I think it's kind of merging all of the separate databases, because they have social security, like our credit history, our social presence, like social media, like our medical history, and I think that's all merging it with that facial recognition, so they can get a full list of who every person is just by scanning their face.
A centralized system.
Yes, exactly.
Which is the scariest part, because when you have information in the Social Security database, and then you have the credit history, and then loan history, and all these different things, it's sort of compartmentalized, and it's not as easy to create a streamline of someone's identity and the data on them. Like, yes, it exists, but it's not under one thing. And I think what they're doing is trying to, so you go in the Palantir database, anyone in government, maybe in the intel agency, it could be NSA, CIA, FBI, and you just search Evan Berger, and everything comes up under one thing. It's like one sheet that they can print on you. So it's kind of like we're all being treated as criminals, because that's what they do to criminals. People, they create a file, and it has all the information, X, Y, and Z, their name, date of birth, birth certificate, and it's all one like file. It's all one. So it's just concerning when the possibility of us being treated as criminals for what? For maybe future rebellion against the government, which is what they don't want. And it's just sad, because at the end of the day, Trump is January 6th, right? I feel like they're trying to befriend him, because they see the risk that his movement poses to the existing system. So instead of, okay, we couldn't kill him, we couldn't jail him,
join him.
Can't beat him, join him. And then
that's why you saw like Facebook and all the Silicon Valley. Like all of a sudden now they're cool with Trump. Now they're backing him, because
they see the power of the movement. They did all this stuff. They couldn't get rid of him. He's back. Yeah. And now it's, okay, let's get in his good graces so he can do us some favors. Right. We can get what we want from him. He'll be gone. We can infiltrate the movement.
Right. It's and then we'll have Vance.
It's like spying. And then you'll have Vance in 4 years, who, I mean, I can't. I think he's a smart guy, but Vance strikes me as someone kind of obviously not. He doesn't hold the same views as someone like a Kamala Harris or a Hillary Clinton. Yeah, right. But he strikes me as one of those guys that would do anything to get in office. Yeah. And those are the scariest people, the people that'll do anything for power, which I guess everyone in politics is that. But I think we should the president should be the person that does not want to do it. Like George Washington did not want to do it, allegedly, or at least he played like he didn't want to do it. And it's the people made him the first president because he didn't want to do it. Right, exactly. So I think people need to keep that in mind when they vote now, and if your vote even means anything. But yeah, like
I think the position itself with that much power, it's anybody with that amount of power is going to be corrupted. Like 100%. It's like Lord of the Rings. Like nobody's able to hold the ring because it's so
powerful.
Yeah, even Gandalf, like the wisest, like smart. It was too strong for him to even hold. Yeah. Like, no matter how good of that person is, that power is going to corrupt you. So Vance, Trump, Elon, doesn't matter who's holding it. It's gonna turn them evil.
And I also think the government is so big now, and the problems in the world are so steep that when we elect someone, even if they have good intentions, it's like David versus Goliath. The system is Goliath. Yeah. and you elect someone, and it's even Elon with the Doge thing. Once they got in, they thought it was going to be easy to cut all this stuff, and you realize how corrosive and deep the deep state really is. That's why it's called the deep state.
Yeah.
It's so embedded into society, government, the global systems we have today, and it brings it. Let's get into the next thing, right? So this is a good segue. So it's almost as if like the system today was created to fail. It was created to be unsustainable so that they could create the problems we have today and come in and sell the solution.
Right.
So, there's an affordability crisis. You can't afford to buy a house. The government will buy your house, but you need to have surveillance and mass surveillance. So it's a way to get mass surveillance, mass control, keep you dependent on the powers that be. And we're like at World War III's doorstep right now.
Yeah.
So
that's like the thing with the riots. They create the problem, and a lot of people are, it's all the time with these Soros funded things. There's pallets of bricks and people ads on Indeed for
protesters.
Yeah, and they'll create this the chaos. Have Palantir able to identify each
person.
Right, so they'll have that solution for a problem that wasn't
they created.
Even there. Yeah.
Same thing with COVID.
Yep.
Create the COVID escaped from a lab, and when you realize how the deep state operates, now that we know it leaked from a lab, there's a good chance that there's some classified document somewhere where someone was directed to do that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Like, there's no way that happens at the time it happens.
Organically, no.
They let COVID out on purpose to create mass hysteria, so that it was a test run to see who would comply.
Yeah.
Create mass hysteria, see what you can do, see how you can control people with fear.
Right.
And now, shortly after that, we're knocking on World War III. We're right at World War III, on the brink of it.
Right.
And it just seems like they're gonna collapse the world order to come in and put the new world order in.
Yeah.
It's just a constant system. Like, the system that we're in right now was never designed to succeed. The Federal Reserve System, NATO, all these things were created with an expiration date, and the people in power already have the next thing set up. Like, who's the guy that ran the World Economic Forum?
Klaus Schwab. Yeah.
They talk about things like, okay, after this system's over, we're gonna create universal basic income. And it just seems like a system of control they're trying to put in place, and they're doing all the chips are on the table for it to happen. Like the protest, Trump assassination, World War III, 9/11.
Right.
9/11 was almost in a way the start
of the New World Order.
It was a starting ritual for the New World Order.
Yeah.
And they did all these wars and stuff for control, and it's just a macrocosm of what the system was designed to be. I don't know. I like the protests we've seen on the way here.
Yeah, in Providence, right?
It's so suspicious. I guarantee you the people running the No Kings, it's like some type of nonprofit political activist organization. They have a website, and they're like you said, hiring protesters and stuff. I'm really scared about Israel-Iran leading to nuclear war, because if that happens, 100% COVID-style lockdowns are back. It's going to be Israel has used a nuclear weapon against Iran. And do you remember when you sent me the Albert Pike 7-hour-long YouTube video?
Morals and Dogma, yeah.
Morals and Dogma talks about the World War III, predicts it, and this was like over 150 years ago.
He was a Civil War general.
Yeah,
Freemason.
How World War III is going to start because of a rift between Judaism and Islam.
Yeah,
and how after that Israel ends up being the global world power because they have expansionist policy.
Yeah, they're trying to control the Middle East.
So imagine a world where Israel's a small belligerent country right now. They have expansionist policy, and imagine the size of your country does not matter when it comes to conquering anything. France with Napoleon, small country, conquered almost all of Europe.
Britain conquered the whole world.
Whole world at one point. Germany, Nazi Germany. Germany's a small country. They were broke at the time. Israel is a small country. Imagine, okay, we go to war with Iran. We help them win. They take over Iran. They have Gaza, the West Bank. Now all of a sudden they're a big country. Imagine the Israeli flag on the map being this big, versus a small size now.
Right.
They could easily become the world superpower in that region if they can maintain control. And what if that's what all this has been? Us going to war with Afghanistan and Iraq
since the 90s. Yeah.
Since the 90s, it's scary to think about. And America is 250 years old. The average age or lifetime of an empire is like 245.
Right.
So they're almost in a way helping America collapse in on itself. So there's going to be a new global superpower that emerges. Everyone thinks it's China. Everyone thinks it's other countries. What if it's them?
Israel, yeah.
And that's a crazy thing to think about because it almost is biblical.
It is, yeah, it truly is.
It's biblical, and these conversations always go back. They always tie into biblical end time stuff.
It's the truth. Yeah.
And I don't know. If it gets to that point, the world's gonna look a lot different than it does now, and not in a good in a good way.
No, we do not.
Spit this out real quick. Oh.
Yeah, Israel is
belligerent.
They are. They've been claiming Iran to have nuclear. They're going to be building a nuke in the next 5 years. They've been saying that since the 80s, and they constantly. If Israel can have a nuclear bomb, Iran should be allowed to.
That's the other thing too. Israel has never confirmed or denied whether they have a nuclear weapon.
They won't let anybody.
They won't let anybody know. I just seen an interview the other day. Some lawyer on Piers Morgan, some chick, and Piers Morgan's like, it wasn't Piers Morgan. It was that Dave Smith guy. I forget. Yeah, he's pretty popular now I think he's calls himself a libertarian, but he does like conservative shows a lot, and he was asking her, does Israel have a nuclear weapon? And she's like, that's not the topic of conversation. Right. It's like, all right, just like if you're not saying no, that obviously means yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like if your girlfriend's like, did you cheat on me? And you're like, and you don't say no.
Right.
It's like, okay, well, you don't want to say yes, but it's safe to assume. The world's a crazy place. You can legitimately go crazy thinking about any of this stuff, but
and it's easier to just watch the bread and circuses, talk about football.
It is easier, but the fate of civilization, the fate of our country,
our grandkids,
right. our grandkids' kids, the future of civilization and everything that it means to be human is at stake, especially with AI now. So
100%.
Everyone that obviously it's easier to get drunk and go out and do the bread and circuses and go to the football game, but once you understand all these things apart, and I'm not saying it's bad to socialize, but all these things, if they're not taken in moderation or just designed to control you in a way that you're in a prison, but the bars are invisible. You'll be they're making you a slave. They're conditioning us to accept slavery. It's not slavery in the way we've come to think of it, but systems evolve. Right. The system has evolved. It's not, everything's an illusion now. They're doing some, ancient mysticism, Jewish mysticism, Freemason, like black magic on us with this stuff. And once you understand that, that's what it means to be woke. Woke obviously has become like a weird term because, the conservative Inc. has said like, oh, woke right, woke left. But the real term of being awake is once you realize that all these systems are designed to control you.
It's true. I was thinking Nick Fuentes, you got to give props to him. He's spot on with everything, dude. He's
100%.
Nobody's talking about Israel
going to
right. He was saying this for years, and nobody gives him the props.
No one gives him props. He's a funny guy. I think.
Oh yeah.
He's chill. He's just a funny. He's past his time. Like he would have been, if you put him in like the 50s or 60s, he would have been like, he would have been the most popular fucking person out there, because back then people kind of understood the way things are a little better than they do now. the systems of control weren't in place the way they are now. But he's definitely been. Oh, hope this is still recording. He's definitely been blacklisted in a way.
Oh yeah.
Even Conservative Inc., which is all the big ones you see when.
Yeah, they don't even mention him.
When we were in high school and
Shapiro.
I'm watching Shapiro and Jordan Peterson to an extent.
He fell off.
Yeah, he's washed. Turning Point USA, PragerU.
Yeah.
Blacklisted.
All Israel, bro.
Yeah, all Israel.
It's literally Israel.
Dude, they be wearing fucking Israel socks and shit. Like, dude, get that shit the fuck out of here, bro.
Right.
I'll never be more loyal to another country. Even Ben Shapiro said, "Oh, my love for America is largely because of our support for Israel."
Right.
And it's like, even on both sides, what are the chances both parties don't agree on shit? The one thing they agree on, funding Israel.
Yeah. They have videos of them
going to wars for them.
Fucking kids. They have to, bro.
Blackmail.
That's literally.
Blackmail. Jeffrey Epstein. Did you see the Dan Bongino, Cash Patel? You know,
they're
FBI now.
Right.
He killed himself, and they just look like dirty fucking liars, bro.
Yeah.
They look like they got a dirty little secret,
bro. They can't say it, though.
There's a few possibilities. Okay, one, he killed himself. They're lying about it. They don't want to admit it. Two, he's still alive, and he's a confidential informant, and they faked his death. Or three, it's a Israeli Mossad CIA joint operation to blackmail global leaders, politicians, particularly in America, and even they targeted Hollywood in a weird way, going after certain actors because those people have a voice.
Right.
And it's if you can, and it goes back to the Brendan Circuses thing. People worship celebrities now.
Yeah.
Almost more so. I mean, Trump's a celebrity. He's our fucking president. Yeah.
Have you seen the black eye thing?
Black eye.
A lot of the celebrities will have a black eye
club. Yeah.
Right, and Elon had it.
Last one.
Oh, I got shit. Take us in.
I'm gonna do actually. And no, I got this.
But
I want to take your supply.
Elon had right before we went on that tweeting spree, he was in the Oval Office and I forget what Trump said. He was like. He made like a cryptic remark about it.
He said his son punched him.
Yeah, Elon said, but then Trump was like, "Oh, you should have covered it up more. You should have." He made some cryptic remark about it, as if.
Well, it's come out, and obviously this could also be a cover up, that he got into a fight with the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Like he charged at him in the White House, and like Scott Bessent punched him in the face, and that's what led to Elon and Trump having a falling out because Trump was like, Trump's like he's not gonna. If people are fighting, he's obviously gonna let someone go. Like he's a boss, you know what I mean, at heart, and that's what I've heard. But I have seen the Black Eye Club thing, and it's really similar to. Remember when Hillary had the boot on her leg? It was like the same thing. They always have some type of injury,
right?
And you're the wealthiest, most powerful people in the world. How does everyone have the same injury all the time?
A black eye, yeah.
Or at least at one point, they've had a boot on their leg or a black eye. It's just strange. It's almost ritual. It's almost ritual.
It's like the blonde hair thing with MK Ultra. All the celebrities, like Kanye had it, Justin Bieber.
Yeah, yep.
Brad Pitt.
Sheesh. I don't know what these people are involved in, but...
It's insane. And... Maybe it is too much for us to handle if we knew the truth. Like,
yeah, we'll never get the truth as they might come out, declassify some stuff a couple decades when, things blow over, but you'll never get the truth, the root cause of anything. They'll never admit to there being a cabal or an Illuminati that's has no jurisdiction and they operate without loyalty to any country or any people. They all operate in their self-interest for money, power, resources. They'll never admit anything like that, but they'll give you bits and pieces. And it's the same thing with the UFO stuff. Now, used to be a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist, and then they come out and admit it, but it's like they're double-crossing you because at this point, they've already reverse-engineered anything that's ever crashed, landed, or found. The United States government is in possession of highly top secret, classified information and weapons that could obliterate any country in a day. The UFO, we've already back engineered the Bob Lazar stuff. That was 40 years ago.
Right.
They've already, if they found something at Roswell, for instance, they've already reverse engineered it. Yeah. We already have it. So now you open yourself up to a Project Bluebeam where they can prey on your conspiratorial fears. And you'll never get the truth, as they'll always find a way to twist it, leave you a breadcrumb trail and just slightly off to the wrong direction. We'll never get the truth as it's meant to be. And sometimes I think about, what if Christianity is the truth and they just don't want to say it? Like, they don't want to say, like, maybe they're coming up with all this stuff to prevent the second coming or whatever the case may be. And they don't want to, because Christianity, I've seen an interview with a CIA operative, and he was saying the hardest religion people follow to manipulate and control those people is Christianity. It's easy to manipulate, people of Judaism. I be careful with my words. People of, that Islam. You can turn them into terrorists. You can manipulate the fact that, they have loyalty to Israel. But Christians, in a similar way to the Cabal, where they have no loyalty to any soil or any people, which you need people that are patriotic to keep your country alive. Yeah, that's part of human nature, being loyal to the tribe. But Christians are loyal to something outside of the world. Right. We believe in God incarnate and came down to sacrifice himself for us. So in a similar way, it's like we believe in a similar way. So we're loyal to Christ. Christ comes before anything, just like the Cabal is loyal to their own self-interest. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like the good and evil of it. Right. It's the same path. It's just a different outcome. Right. So that's something that's interesting to me, and it's like we're juxtaposed to those people by believing in a similar thing. My loyalty, like, I'm a patriot, but Christ is king. Right.
Christ comes before the country. Yeah.
Right. Those people, Satan comes before, the Satan in the world comes before
their country. Right.
Yeah. So it's just a different path. And that's part of that. I think that's part of the truth, and that's one of the reasons it'll never truly come out. And you kind of have to wake up and recognize it in order to, break free.
Indeed. I mean, I think it was maybe 3 months ago. It was around Easter actually. They confirmed the Shroud of Turin. I've been seeing a lot about that. They're dating it, and it's they're saying you can't
imprint that image.
Yeah, you can't fake it, and people still deny it. But
Jesus was absolutely a real person. There's no one that has billions. It's the biggest religion in the world, and it's the hardest people to manipulate, and that's their issue with allowing Christianity to be the truth. Yeah. If Christianity being true is part of the way the Cabal operates, they'll never let that be true, because then you'd have a mass revolution of Christians who are hard to control, because they're not going to believe they're not going to be manipulated and believe in the bullshit that other religions can be.
Exactly.
Because the word of Christ comes before what anyone else says.
Exactly.
And the word of Christ is literally perfect. I urge anyone to read the Bible. Everything he said is literally perfect. And in the beginning, in Genesis, God gave the word. Right. Jesus comes and his words are perfect. Yeah. If you read the Bible, oh my God, it's everything, perfect. Dude. He was ahead of his time too. This is a time where they crucified people, where they stoned people, and he comes and it's just this perfect. He's this perfect ethical teacher. And I don't understand. There's something mythical about that, whether you want to believe it or not. Right. And he has to be real, because there is no way someone at that time could have made up the words he was saying. Right. Because he was so far ahead of his time. Like, our entire system of laws is based on what he said. Yeah. Like, murder's illegal because thou shalt not kill. And
that's Old Testament.
Old Testament stuff, but he comes and personifies.
The law. He fulfills Moses. Cool. You know, the thing I always pisses me off is when people will say, "Oh, but Jesus was a Jew."
No.
He's literally God. He wasn't a Jew, and even the Jews back then.
It's different than now.
Exactly, and the ones that after Christ, those Jews became Christians. They saw.
Yeah, the real Israel. The word Israel just means we who wrestle with God. Like, you have an internal struggle with your sin, and that leads you to God. That's what the word Israel means. Now they've made it a state.
Yeah.
The current, if anyone, any Jew or Gentile who wasn't a Christian, who didn't follow Jesus after the sacrifice was made, is now part of the synagogue of Satan.
Yes, that's true.
And it's, if you read the Bible,
denied their maker.
In Revelation, the reason they say they're the chosen people is because they don't understand the word Israel. Israel, the new Israel, is people who believe in Christ, and it's a following. It's not a country. It's not a state. It's not a belief. So the country Israel is sort of masquerading and is taking advantage of the fact that people don't understand the Bible and these terms and where they originated from. So anyone who denies Christ to this day is part of the synagogue of Satan. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
And if you can read anything he said, and even if you don't want to consider yourself a Christian, if you can't even bring yourself to say, that's the type of person I want to model my behavior and myself after, then you're just someone you're trying to be deliberately rebellious for no reason. Because the real act of rebellion is being like that in a world that's incredibly corrupt and full of sin.
Oh yeah, well, they believe that he's burning in shit in hell in their book, same book that tells them to suck off babies' blood off their penis after circumcision.
Yeah, this pod just got removed from all platforms except Rumble.
It's there, like, what was I gonna say?
We were saying the Talmud.
Before that,
yeah, the Talmud has a lot of crazy stuff in it. I see people try to justify it, but in my mind, it's pretty clear. If you read it,
what good the difference between us and them? But it shouldn't even be an us and them. It feels like it's dividing a thing, divide and conquer.
I don't think there's gonna be any peace in this world until everyone follows Christ. That's the only way there would be. If everyone followed Christ, you would have world peace overnight. Right. And that's why I'm a big proponent of Christians taking over Israel, Gaza, because it just doesn't make sense. Why? Guys, this is part of the plot. Just ask yourself this logical question. Why would anyone in there... Israel was started with the Balfour Declaration shortly after World War II to give Jews a homeland. Why would anyone in their right mind put the Jewish population, create a Jewish state in the middle of an area where all those people hate them?
Right.
It has to be... There was some plan, and you're seeing the plan happen now.
Right.
To collapse the New World, to collapse the current order, to usher in a New World Order. It doesn't make any sense. And the other thing they'll never say is no country wanted to take in those refugees from Germany when all the the Holocaust was happening. America didn't want them. We knew that. If you don't think America knew the Holocaust was happening, if you don't think FDR or the intelligence agencies at the time knew the Holocaust was happening, or the military, you're delusional. 100% we knew, and we didn't do anything about it because they didn't want to accept those people either, and that's just the truth.
Yeah. And
that's why they have a hatred for us as well, because they know that.
Right, but it's like, why? Where would that hatred stem from? Is it just pure like jealousy, or is there a reason?
I think it's I truly think they want to colonize a large part of the Middle East. And they're going to say, because these people hate us, but in the first place, why did you put your country there? Why was your country put there? Because no other country wanted to accept those people, and every country has their own reasons. You got to be careful. But I really think that they're gonna try to use us to help them conquer Iran, and you could see a bigger. There's already a plan in place. Benjamin Netanyahu has laid out like this plan called Greater Israel,
right?
And it's expanding the Jewish state.
They're gonna call it Judea. They're gonna change the name to Judea.
And after World War III, America could be fighting a 3-front war. I'm afraid at this point. I believe in my country, but we've enjoyed the fruits of our success for way too long.
Yeah,
everyone's lazy, complacent, bred in circuses. If we have to fight a war against Russia and Ukraine, China and Taiwan, right. If we have to help Israel fight Iran, and on top of all the other places we have military bases,
and our internal is collapsing too. Inflation, it's like
inflation, economic crisis, right. Affordability, the
immigration, bro. Like immigration. There's so much.
Right. I don't know if America can win a 3-front war. So who comes out on top of that? And everyone's going to say China and stuff. And I think Greater Israel is the outcome of World War III. Yeah. And I think that's been the plan. You read Albert Pike, Morals and Dogma. Right. This has been predicted. And I don't even know if it's been predicted. I think it's been a plan that's been going on for centuries. Like, you really get deep into it. Like, the Rothschilds and these families have been around for centuries. Yeah. And it almost starts to look like a plan when you start saying, oh my God. And these people are, the reason they prioritize the next generation of their family is so that this plan can keep going. Because they know this stuff don't happen overnight. This stuff doesn't happen overnight. So their plan, it's centuries long. I think it's part of the reason for the American Revolution. I think the Founding Fathers knew everything we're talking about, and they were like, we need to start. America's like the last domino to fall. If America didn't exist, the New World Order would already be here.
Israel wouldn't exist.
The foundation of America is directly in contradiction to any plans they want to put in place. Our Bill of Rights and these things. You look at Europe now. Do you know in Britain you can't watch TV without a TV license?
No way.
Yo, you're laughing. I swear to God and everything. You can Google it after this. Anyone listening, watching this, Google it after this.
You need a TV
and
license.
I'm not talking about a TV license like you have to pay for cable. You have to pay for cable to Verizon or whatever. You also need to pay the government, the British government, every year to own a TV.
Wow.
If you get caught watching a TV without a TV license, you can literally go to jail. And I also seen another guy. You know how they ban guns like everywhere in Europe, everywhere in woke Europe. They have an issue with stabbings now, and some dude's like, "Oh, we really need to address the stabbing thing. We need to ban knives." What the fuck? What? You could kill someone with a pencil, a banana, literally anything, bro. If you know what you're doing. And what are we gonna do? Ban everything? Like we're kids, we give us crayons, like and markers, like, and then that'll get banned too. Like cars, of course, autonomous vehicles are gonna be so, you can get pulled over and stuff without, stopping your own vehicle. That's what it is. It's a system of control, and if shit hits the fan and you got a gas car and you got gas, you're good. You got an electric car, power grid goes out. They can use a software to make your car not move. It's a system of control to keep you on the grid.
Scary.
It's a scary world, man. I just think World War III is overdue. Truly. There's a catastrophe. You know the Fibonacci spiral?
Yeah.
So, like, the first world, it's, if you do the math, like, the next World War should be 80 years from World War II, and it's already been like 79 years or something like that. And it's the Fibonacci spiral. It's mathematical, so it creates a fractal. It's the mathematical formula for fractals.
Right, it's 1 + 1, and then you add, so then 2 + 1.
Right, and it creates like this spiral, sort of like a black hole, where you approach a singularity, and these events start happening in the same way but more frequently than the last time. So World War I happens, World War II is 10, 15 years later, World War III happens, and it's weird that the number 3 is also important.
Right, it's a Masonic. perfect number. Yeah,
it's a Masonic number. Even I was just talking about this with someone the other day. Even baseball was started by Freemasons, and if you notice, baseball, 3 strikes, 3 bases, diamond or triangle.
Oh yeah.
It's there's something with triangles.
Yeah.
And the number 3, and there's mathematical
geometry, right?
Sacred geometry. Yes. That Jewish mysticism is based off of, and it's Kabbalion. I told you about my Kabbalion story with the purple thing. Remember that day at Longplex?
Oh yeah.
Dude, stop fucking imagine someone who's really trained in that giving them unlimited resources and power over the world, what they could do with it's manipulating the fabric of not just society, not just the world, but literally the particles in the mind, the way your mind works, your consciousness, not just the world around you, tapping into the creator energy, the universe, and giving those people unlimited power, and just seeing how easy it is for them to rain hell on everything. And we're at a point where it's the best and worst time to be alive, because we have the best everything. You know, we
can get food, right?
Food like that,
information at our fingertips. Yeah.
Right, but that also causes a lot of. It's high risk, high reward, because that creates a lot of pressure. That creates a lot of pressure on us to keep that up, and could that pressure lead to a collapse where we have nothing?
Right.
And is that God's way of correcting civilization, like the Great Flood,
or like the Tower of Babylon? We're building too high.
What's the other one? Sodom and Gomorrah.
Oh wow, it's Pride Month. There you go.
Yeah.
Sodom
and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
Did you see the friggin' chick that was, the Jollibee, interviews where they're in a warehouse?
Jubilee, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Fucking gay. But the chick was talking to some guy about, he was like, Trump's a white nationalist. He taps into that, and she's like, would you really disagree that America is like a white Christian country? Like, that's how it started.
Right.
And what I wish she would have said on top of that is, if you talk about racism and, we got to correct systematic racism and all these things, that can only be a thing if America was a white Christian country. And the guy's like, no, America's always been a melting pot. If it's always been a melting pot, then how can you complain about racism and forced assimilation and all this stuff?
Right.
So you can't have it both ways. Like, either America is a white Christian country and some people think we should keep it that way, or you believe America is a white Christian country and you want to change that. But you can't say America was never that.
Right.
And then try to you get what I'm saying? It's a logical conundrum. Right. It doesn't make sense. So there's no way you can disagree with that. And every country in the world has the sort of pride where they fly their flag. Of their course, people look a certain way.
Right.
But you can't say that in America. Why?
Right.
Why? Because everyone wants access to us. Everyone wants to.
Because we're the best. Like, they complain that we're a racist, whatever, homophobic, transphobic. Go anywhere else and find somewhere better, and then live there, because it's so bad over here apparently. They know it's there. They won't find anywhere better. It's
like, you go to Mexico, you go to China, Venezuela, any country. Literally pick a country, throw a dart on the map. Those people have a pride. Their ancestors looked a certain way.
Yeah.
They have a certain culture, certain history. They have certain food. They fly their flag. And if you move there, you're not that. Like, you'll never be fully accepted unless you assimilate to the dominant culture. But in America, you're not allowed to say that. You're supposed to say, if I say, I'd prefer if America stayed predominantly Christian, predominantly white, traditional European values. If I say that, you're racist. Right. You're crazy. For saying that, you're xenophobic, you hate other people. But if, someone from Puerto Rico or Venezuela or China says that, they want all their people to look the same. And if anyone does move there, wants them to assimilate, that's fine.
That's fine, right? But in America, we can't say that.
You can't say that. But I really think it's just these people are fundamentally trying to change that. And
they hate white Christians.
Exactly.
They really do.
So when you fight back and you say, Your country is predominantly Spanish. Why can't mine be predominantly white? That's been my history.
And that's this guy, I know we were having a good talk. And what Nick does and why he's so great and why he's crucial to this movement is they've been pushing us back.
Yeah.
What Nick's doing is like, all right, well, how about this? How about we have, what if it's only...
You fight back with the same mentality.
Like we draw new lines of, well, what about it? What if there's no immigration? What if it's not just, what if instead of deporting just the criminals, we deport everybody? And they're like, oh.
You're a racist.
Right. But you already call me a racist. So
like, it doesn't fucking matter.
Exactly. So like, all right, okay, call me that. I don't care what you call me. How about this?
Kanye, same mentality.
Right.
With the,
Because you can't control it. If they know you can control it, and we're like, all right, you can have that. We'll push back. Then they're gonna keep going.
You give them an inch. They take
right.
them
But
out.
if you fight back, then
whoa, they don't know what to do. They freeze up.
Exactly.
That's my issue with Trump. I'm afraid he's gonna sell us out. And instead of doubling down on the 2015 rhetoric, where he was like, that's what made Trump. Like, not this. Oh, okay, we'll go to war for Israel. Like, he was never saying anything like that before. It was
no new wars, and now
it was they would put the line here, and he was like 10 steps ahead of them.
Yeah, right.
We need someone like that. That's like, you know what? No, fuck, just deporting you if you're a criminal. If you're here illegally and you're not assimilating to the dominant culture, and you're flying another flag, you're going back.
Yeah,
you're going back home. That's your home for a reason. Right. You're not going to come here and exploit our resources, exploit our welfare.
Right.
Rape
our women.
Take, make money here, send it back to your country. Like, you're not going to be doing that, because now we're getting taken advantage of. Like, are we just somewhere people go and just dump their shit off and go back?
Literally.
Like, are you just going to come here, work for 20 years, and then be able to retire and go back home? And because things are cheaper over there, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you're not being loyal to the soil.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you're a white Christian, it's easier to be loyal to the soil,
100%.
Because you understand where you came from. You have a certain love, and it's like, if you let someone borrow, are we just gonna allow people to borrow us?
Right.
We're just selling ourselves out. We're just, all right, yeah, come here, fuck, for what? Right. We're being gutted from the inside out, and we're not gonna be able to fight certain wars when we need to. Like, we're not going to be able to win economically, militarily, socially. We're literally going to end up like falling like Rome, or more catastrophic than that. And I don't think people realize what needs to, and I think if you really sat down and have a conversation with certain people, they would be like, yeah, like, you're kind of right. I just think the news, the media, just skews everything. And
you'll talk to people, and they'll be like, "Oh, I don't trust the media. I don't trust this or that. Like, it's all fake news." And then they'll say something, "Dude, did you hear about whatever?" And like, "All right, where'd you hear it from?"
CNN.
Oh, CNN. Oh, but you're just telling me you don't trust them. So it's like, I don't know. And I'm not. I'm guilty of that at times too. But
you gotta think critically. You gotta think critically. You gotta be aware. You gotta be aware of how deep the corruption is, especially in media. Project, what was it, Mockingbird, CIA. A lot of the people that are anchors on television did internships with the CIA.
Right, Tucker Carlson's fucking dad, yeah.
Those people are trained to manipulate you. They're trained, they're spies. And you're talking about corporate media. Their only loyalty is ad dollars. Their only loyalty is making sure the government doesn't shut them down, keep the government money rolling in.
Eyes. They want eyes.
Eyes, yo. Illuminati eyes. Can I snag one of those?
Oh, yeah, dude. Go ahead.
I appreciate it. Wintergreen. I heard these have... Wintergreen and spearmint have, like, the least amount of, like, preservatives or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's, like, the cleanest way to get the nicotine.
On the Alps, it has the cancer warning, like the reproductive harm thing. But Zins don't have it, so I feel a little better having these.
Yeah.
I don't know if it has it on the Velos. Velo has it.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Am I going to get...
You might.
Reproductive harm.
So I trust Zin. They might be libs, but... take their word for it.
Maybe it's the thing they put in to make it moist.
Yeah,
maybe that's some type of like gum, or, like Arabic gum or
carcinogen.
Yeah, but
man, we're gonna die anyways. Yeah, I mean,
we don't even have World War III, dude. A lot of people could die.
Yeah, and they say plan for the future, but live for the day. That's what we got to do.
Yeah,
you never know what's gonna happen, and be grateful for every second.
You've been doomsday prepping? You doomsday prep?
Well, not as good as I should. Definitely need to get some more canned foods and stuff.
You know what's a really good doomsday tool? If you go on Amazon, life straws.
Oh yes, I should get those.
So you can drink from a river or whatever. Right. And it lasts for, I think, can filter 100 gallons or something like that. Yeah. So if you have, a couple hundred of those, it'll be golden. And also they're making it harder to get guns, but once you start buying a couple guns, you're like, this stuff is fun. Safer. Yeah, you feel safer too. Even you hope to never use it.
Of course, yes. And it's more of just like, if shit does hit the fan, you have something to protect you and your family. Like, that's all it is.
It gives you a certain amount of power, because even if someone breaks in your house or shit hits the fan and society collapses, someone has a gun and you have a gun.
Right, now you can trade.
Now you can trade. Yeah. Now you can barter, and it's just a fear. Unfortunately, the way humans work, just because of evolution, fear is a stronger motivator than love.
100, yeah.
It's easier. So if someone has a level of fear, then that leads to respect, and now you can manage your life a little easier. You don't want to be a pushover. You don't want to be too peaceful. Even Jesus, he told his disciples to carry swords. He went into the synagogue marketplace where they were selling, flipped the table, had a whip. He didn't whip anybody, but he was like lashing. Right. So you can't be naive. No. You need a way to protect yourself.
Better to be a warrior in a garden than gardener in a war.
Yeah. 100%. That's a great quote. But it's easier it's harder than ever because of regulations to get guns. Yeah. But in terms of price, dude, $200. Right. You can fucking get a Ruger for $200. Like, real easy. But yeah, how long have we been going? I can't see.
52.
52. I think we got another 10 minutes on us.
Yeah. Good clean hour. What was I gonna say?
When are you starting your show? Alright, so we're gonna do the outro. Yeah, you got anything to plug? I know you got some bands and stuff.
Yeah, follow Free Beer the band, Kench Music, Kaleidico Music. Kaleidico's gonna have a single coming out soon. I'm gonna start a political channel, probably put it on YouTube and Rumble if it stays on YouTube. Make me TikTok, just like 30-minute news clips.
Nick Fuentes type.
Yeah, exactly, the GOAT. But yeah.
But we're not getting canceled. No. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. Stay tuned for the next episode. New World Media, follow that on TikTok. See y'all.